Alright, what's up, y'all? So, I don't really know if I have any more like 1v1 videos coming on the way. Being fucking shadow edited out of this post. Taking out Smite Stocks fucking took out Dom with the Crucify and Dom and then didn't even like see. You see how a normal post has a fucking last edited? This shit got edited, but it's shadow edited. I don't know. I had some cool ideas for videos, but I'm like insanely unmotivated with that right now. Are my dimensions good? Yeah, they're fine. Okay. I'm super like I don't know if 1v1 videos are coming out anymore, so or like in the distant future, so we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to make a video on how to get fucking good because I've been playing 1v1 for a really long time. Brought me a lot of joy, brought me a lot of happiness, all that shit. But players now, I really don't see a whole lot of progression in. Like motherfuckers just stay the same skill wise. And I just want to make a video on detailing like a bunch of different things to get good. In like a bunch of different aspects. I have some replays, so let's get to it. So the first thing I'm talking about tournaments. So for this shit, I just put. I'm gonna be like semi like you know how like when you're in class and you kind of read off the PowerPoint when you have a presentation. I'm gonna be like kind of doing that and kind of like injecting like ADHD monologues and tangents all throughout. So yeah, that's how I make videos. Y'all know that by now. So for tours, I just said play tours in your best surroundings. For me, that's listening. I'm not listening to this shit anymore. Talking while listening to music for like a long time is like hard. So yeah. Anyways, I'll just close this shit too. I don't give a fuck. So basically, play tours like where you're comfortable. For me, that's kind of in my room, listen to music like every single time. Not a lot of variation. So yeah, it's pretty big. Just like once you're at your sharpest mentally, it's easier to win. So. Next is hold yourself accountable for your losses. I see a lot of people like always like rage about, oh, this was a blank percent roll and not focus on like the games they lost or just like excuse the games or the series they lost and not focus on like, oh wow, I mean I did things that prevented myself from winning, so that's my bad. Or I made mistakes or anything. So hold yourself accountable as fuck. And once you do that, it's way easier to learn from your mistakes. And learning from your mistakes is really, really big. Building, playing. You're going to do things right and you're going to do things wrong. And the best players fucking see what they do wrong and then just don't do it again. Or try not to. Sometimes I've been a victim of this, like losing series because of a certain thing and then repeating it in the future. So definitely hold yourself accountable and like analyze your losses. Don't dismiss it on a roll. Don't dismiss it on, oh, I got hacks in one game. Because breaking fucking news, you can get hacks in one game and still win. I don't know, crazy, best of 5, best of 7, whatever. Next is just be a good teammate, be chill, be friendly. Talk about shit that isn't mod if you want, but don't like distract from anything. I've seen some annoying like seeming teammates, or AFK teammates. So just don't be one of that. And once you're a good teammate, you kind of feed off other people's energy and intelligence, and you can get better. So yeah, those are like some basic things that have like nothing to do with actually like playing yourself. So next, we'll get to the things that the thing that I think is most important. Building. If you're a great builder, series will win themselves on their own pretty much. If you're a very consistent builder, you shouldn't really be going negative often at all, if ever, to be honest. In team tours, shit like that, you should be being able to farm people if you're a good builder pretty much. I think one of the most important things is style, because like sometimes you'll use someone else's team and you'll be like, dude, this shit fucking sucks. Like how does this person build like this and expect to win? And I've always been a big proponent of like building my own teams in pretty much every tier that isn't like SM. And sometimes I build an SM too, so yeah. Style is big. No, like a great example of this is like Ecstatic, my boy David. He knows what he likes and knows what he doesn't like, and he always like introduces stuff to like the team chat and like ideas and stuff of like, oh, this like I think is good. And that's like one of the best teammates you can be, is like having ideas. Ideas are really good. And it's like, how can I like push myself out of my like usage and make myself more diverse without like pushing myself too far and just using a mon I hate just to use it, Like for me, I think like SS Zarud is fucking terrible. I hate using it. Feels so weak, and it's just not my type of mon, because I like mons. My style in a lot of tiers is like bulky offense or like offense. Like I like the Charizard that can DD now and kill you. I like the Zarwai that can blast burn you. I like Z-Mons and when I play SM and SS. I like a lot of choice Mons like Band. Like people who team with me know that I will build like triple choice teams or double choice plus fucking Custap or double choice plus AV or shit like that. Like I like offensive teams that just smack you. I don't really like black white Sableye Mons that are just passive and like are like relying on like current 50/50s and shit like that. So yeah, I think knowing your style and like pushing yourself out of it is important. Because some Mons you won't like, and that's fine. That's hella fine. So next is meta knowledge. I think this is huge because once you like know, I think a big thing is sets what people don't use. Once you know what sets people don't use, you can kind of cut corners and like kind of break pre-established archetypes to make something that's way more bold and like threatening and like gets good matchup and matchup fishy in a good way. Knowing like what threats can be fucking played around or like fucking like what cores and shit you like to do. Very important, like having the knowledge on basically like mainers, like being a mainer, like being a mainer provides you with a lot of useful info, and that's why when people are coming in, when I tell them learn a tier, don't try to do too much at once. Like just try to learn a meta, and then once you learn how to like attack a meta, getting way better, like becoming a better builder is like natural because I like to attack a meta. I like to see what people aren't doing, what people are doing, what like their checks are, like how you can use a certain like item or move to fucking really like attack the checks of like, let's say a Greninja using, you can use like, that's what I like, for example, on Greninja and ORAS is Hydro Cannon, Taunt, Gunk Shot, HP Electric. It's because fairies and Manaphy are very often like a Greninja counter on a team. And so why not just like you still have the Life Orb Hydro Cannon to kill shit, but why not add on a lot of versatility to beat like top mons like Gardevoir, very common, Altaria, very common, Manaphy, very common, shit like that, Gyarados as well. Combining shit, combining ideas, coming up with new ideas. Like I think the best way to think of it is like experimentation, because like I always like go back when I'm thinking about like how did I get good. I go back to like 2018 me and ORAS. Me in 2017, 2018, I was fucking throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I fucking ran a Spec Scarchamp in PO1 finals because I fucking felt like it. I was just like, well, I mean, everyone knows what Bandchomp does, but maybe they don't know about specs. And like that was just it actually came into play because I got countered. Like a Snorlax clicked counter on me as I like clicked Earth Power Jig or some stupid shit like that. But experimenting, like I then started using like Serperior and Volcarona. And I use fucking Virizion because I'm like, this thing is I replaced Virizion with Serp because I'm like, Virizion's kind of fucking bad. Serp is better with HP ground for Heatran. So yeah, experimenting is like a good way to like kind of like see what in the meta is just something you can adjust or like push forward or shit like that. I like experimentation. That's like the best word to describe like positive growth in building. Work on your cores. Like when I see a lot of new players building, they'll throw two mons together, just make no fucking sense, bruh. And it's like, your mons should have different purposes, not the same purpose, right? So, developing good cores can give you a good foundation of being a good builder, because like once you're in the habit of like finding like having mons that don't overlap in terms of, oh, they beat the same shit, and beating different shit allows you to have like, you know, a matchup fishy third or something crazy in your third just because the first two are so good. So work on your cores. I'm not a huge fan of repeating types. I tend to avoid non-psychic and steel. Like steel and psychic, you can have mono steel, mono psychic teams, those are fine. Double dragon can be good too. Double dark can be okay. I don't really like double fighting like ever. Double normal's probably fucking ass. Double ghost is not really good either. So, you know, like just feel out like the type of teams that you're building and like how to construct the team. It's like, oh, I can't have two steel types. Nah, that's not really how building works. Steels are really, really good. And a lot of them have really different weaknesses. Like Heatran, Ferrothorn have pretty fucking different weaknesses, you know. Same with like Magnezone and other shit. So Metagross, you know, Mawile. So these are the ones that are more safe to repeat because they're kind of like secondary typings. Like Mono Steel's like motherfucking Kling Klang, you know. So yeah. Next, know what is broken and how to abuse it. I feel like people now, they build with a little too many B rank mons or B minus rank mons or C plus mons or shit like that. Like, I feel like since the meta is so solidified, people kind of know what to expect from them, right? I feel like those type of mons were way better in like a 2019 1v1 where a motherfucker would get 3-0'd by Lantern in like some random tier. Not to say, oh, you can't use mons that are B rank, but like, I wouldn't make them like a substantial part of your building process whatsoever. I think right now in 1v1, this is like the age of like sets like pushing mons over the top. Like regularly motherfucking mons get banned out of nowhere like ADV Clefable or Snorlax, shit like that, because motherfuckers just find a mon and just push it all the way. Develop the mon, push it as far as it can go, and just like make it so its list of counters is as small as possible. And like a mon like SM Dragonite, it has so many different sets and ways of winning that I feel like it's really hard to go wrong with it, you know. Like at its peak, most degenerate, like a lot of SM building, you could just like throw some random combination of like Charizard, Mew, D-Knight, Zeraora, Greninja, and like you would have a good team, a solid team. Like that shit was so fucking heinous. So once you're figuring out like what mons play off of each other as well, like broken mons like Zard Manaphy, for example. Zard Metagross, Manaphy, Metagross, whatever. That's an Aura's example. Like, once you find, like, mons that are broken, that are really solid, that get good matchups and feed off each other, you can, like, pin your opponent down with, like, such a amazing matchup. So, yeah. Also, don't, like, if you build around something and it's weird, don't put it in slot 1, bro. Fucking click the move button and move that shit to, like, I don't even know if people know how to do this, by the way. Feel like this. You just move this, because you're giving it's a great, like a really solid player can recognize, oh, this Volcarona in black and white is paired with 2 fucking flying weeks. I think it's fucking Koba Berry if it's like slot 1. It's going with like, oh, this Scrafty is paired with 2 fucking Monsilius to Conk. I wonder what set it could be in slot 1, you know. A black white man losing to Conk, yeah man, sure. Like shit like that. So I already had a building guide if you wanna let's see how many minutes. Oh, I'm 12 minutes in. Yeah, this is gonna be long as fuck. Sorry y'all. If this is something I made a giant video. I kind of regret a little bit like making it so long, but it's not like I was just like fucking putting out content just to make it. Like I was just saying said show. If you want to go back to my shit, it's a playlist on my channel. Hella long, but I got a lot of perspectives, and I'm saying I'm one of the best 1v1 builders ever. So yeah, no disrespect to anyone, but like I just think I've earned it. So we got picking, right? Picking. I don't really like the way picking is viewed a lot. People like make it seem like it's so fucking linear, when for me, I build a lot of sets and like mon combinations that make it so matchups are very unintuitive. So I calc as fuck. I calc as fuck when I'm picking. Because a lot of mons will surprise you with how non-bulky they are, how weak they are, how frail they are. And maybe sometimes you'll see like, oh wait, I'm actually a slow insert mon here set, so I would lose this game. Oh, also for building, use speed creep, dude. Fucking use speed creep. 0 speed is fucking bad, bro. Do not use like this, for example. Do not just use 0 speed Manaphy. Creep that hoe. Creep that hoe. 28, good, because this is a very crowded benchmark. So put some creep in there, you know, for example. Calc as fuck. Switch up your style when picking. A lot of players, I might get into this later, a lot of players tend to pick the same way in like pretty in like easy to decipher matchups. Ambiguous matchups are always hard, but a lot of players play kind of linear in certain like matchups that are clear. So or like react to certain mons, or you know, core a certain way. So yeah, definitely don't just switch up your style just to switch it up, but don't just be a linear player. I'll get into some more shit later. So calc as fuck. Figure out matches beforehand. So I'll get into sequencing later. Basically, it's best to figure out matchups at team preview. I'll show a replay of this. But like basically, I'll get into this a little. Actually, maybe I'll just talk about it right now. So, here I'll show a replay. I put this in the wrong Gen 8 1v1. It should be yeah, okay. I'll just get into this right now. I'll be going over a lot of trash new replays. Maybe someone doesn't know that was me. I don't know. If you didn't, that's kind of crazy. But basically, I was just looking for some replays to like some old replays, but then I realized a lot of my new replays, like I made classic finals, and I didn't drop a set in playoffs, and I was like a 3 seed. So there's gonna be a lot of classic replays of different gens and shit. So here's an example of me plotting out this shit beforehand. So I believe there's a cust app user here. I talked to Bird beforehand. I know he likes random cust app on shit, and I've seen him run cust app Cartana and PL. This is in World Cup. So I'm thinking, okay, it's the cust app user is either ZapG. Here, you can see it here. I take a long time to play how I did, but I played kind of crazy this game. So basically, I feel one of these is cust app, and I think it could be card. So I could Coco here because it's kind of the logical pick. I don't really expect him to just like go Scarf Dracovish on my Vish. I was Hammer on Metagross here, but I was doing some calking here, and I figured out that I lose to Choice Band every time. Pretty much, I lose to like most knockoff Metagrosses or Cartanas with my Metagross. So some people will just see the Hammer around and go, "Oh my god, I need to click it! Oh my god, oh my god!" But it wasn't really the best pick. So I'm thinking, okay, this shit maybe cust app. If it's banned, I fucking lose because my Dracovish is low kick and Cartana's like 20 base power with low kick. So doesn't win. So I figure, okay, I can maybe beat some random card with my Coco, and I will be able to know what item it is if it goes to turn 2. If I just die, then who the fucking cares? I was steer by ban card anyway. So, oh my god, turn this shit off, yo, Jesus. So basically, cart here, I gleam because right here, I figure out, okay, well, T-Bolt puts it in the cust app range, and what's the point of that? It doesn't kill, it never kills, and it puts him in a cust app range. I can get para hacks against ban cart, but the chances, like, that's not really my win con here. My win con is not para the fucking cart, the ban Cartana. It's hope he's another set, and I'll play that. So I gleam because T-Bolt doesn't, it puts it in the cust app range. There's just no reason to click it. And here, he Leaf Blades me, does a fuckload, but I know he's not banned. I know he's not Life Orb. I know he's not AV based off this damage. So I'm thinking this is for sure cust app. But this is not a fucking Choppleberry Cartana. It's not a fucking set. Well, especially with the ZapG, you kidding? Or like Akka with the Dracovish, no. He is cust app. So this is why plotting your moves beforehand on preview is good. Because look, I just insta-click taunt on the Ender. There's no thinking here. I knew it beforehand. I was going to taunt if he was cust app. If he was banned, I lose. GG. But if he's cust app, I taunt him turn 2 after I know the damage. So I taunt him, and I think most players would have lost this game. Either T-bolting, putting in cust app range, or just not taunting, or dropping the timer a fuckload if they were going to taunt to make it like a 50-50, you know. So this is essentially the benefit of planning your fucking sequencing and like your how you are going to play this game at this point instead of this one, because I know Coco has good matchup here. Like that's just obvious. So that was some sequencing. I'm just gonna go back up here anyways. Yeah, this was like figure out how you want to play a preview is helpful unless you're really strapped on time. If you're strapped on time, you can cross that bridge when you get there, but I was not. I knew I was clicking Coco like the entire fucking time. So except when I was talking Metagross. So yeah. Figuring out matchups beforehand, because like you don't want to be like, oh YOLO, let's see what fucking happens if it's if it's not good, right? So think about what they click turn 1. Think about how you can counter that turn 1. Think about just the turn 2s, the turn 3s. You know, think about matchups in your head. Calc. Think about speed. Think about a lot of shit. I can't really tell you how to get good at learning matchups. That's just something you have to do, right? Never unclick. Don't do this shit. And 1v1, to be good, you have to be decisive. I don't really know any non-decisive, or like, okay, there's like a few. But the best players are like decisive ass motherfuckers who are in the driver's seat for most of their series, right? You don't want to be like, oh my god, bro, what if he does click the 1-2, bro? Oh my god, what if he actually does a thing that no human would ever do just because it's a thing no human would ever do? It's like, bro, calm down. Think about what you want to click and then click it. That's been my mentality for a while. Think about what you want to click and then click it. Pretty simple. Don't click, unclick, click, unclick. Don't let your fucking mouse and your like monkey brain play the series for you. Play with your fucking head. Play with the damage calc. Play it with your little noggin. You know. This shit is unclicking is cancer. You're just being an undecisive bitch, like pretty much. View opponent's perspective. So I have a lot of replays for this, a ton actually. Basically, I think this is like the #1 trick to noob farming. By the way, if you're like a fucking Michelin motherfucker who always loses to players worse than him, you got to see it from their perspective. You got to recognize what they find threatening, what mons they think are clickable. You got to find out like how does a person that doesn't know my team view this matchup, because a lot of the time I will be like, okay, well, I knowing my team, this set loses to this set, but they think that my set beats their set. So you gotta view games from your opponent's perspective. Definitely helps for noob farming. It definitely helps in a bunch of games I'm gonna show you. So recognize threatening mons. So a lot of mons that seem threatening, like a Curum Black 2-1. So okay, I think 2-1s are kind of fake, but like let's just say it's a very easy matchup, like Curum Black versus Dragonite, Curum Black versus Greninja, or like let's say their team is like Dragonite, Greninja, and Metagross. Curum Black is a 2-1, and it's a scary 2-1 because it's a Curum Black, like it's a scary mon. It decisively, easily wins. Mons that don't like something like Sableye that doesn't win its games as decisively in Black and White, for example. It's less scary because you know, oh, I can hack shit, I can crit it, I can outplay it, blah blah blah. Mons that just destroy their opponents are something some people are scared of. The exception for whatever reason is like Mega Metagross in 2-1, but that's like an overgeneralization. That's the Mega Metagross 2-1 always wins thing. That's an overgeneralization for sure. That's just like a meme. I mean, it's true, but it's a meme. So, let's look at some games where we see some threatening mon. So, this game, the threatening mon is Urshifu because beats Metagross, beats Crustle, and it can beat Moltres G if I just dodge Hurricane. So that's some great fucking odds. Most players see that and be like, I am clicking Urshifu. But I fairly, this is not the most decisive thing I've ever done, but I fairly decisively click Zera here. Because I'm figuring, maybe his thought process is custom Moltres G can beat Moltres G Heatran easily. And maybe, I think there's like 0 Moltres G that beats Zera, but maybe like weakness policy knockoff Plasma doesn't kill, so I don't know. Basically, I'm thinking he's gonna react to my scary ass Urshifu by clicking Mochi because it's all it's got. And I always like to think about things like Hurricane missing or like A/ flinching, shit like that always. But here I decide I'm gonna take a game in my hands. I'm gonna be decisive. I'm gonna be in control. I'm gonna be assertive. I'm Zering here. I'm banned. I do not beat these fuckers. I don't. I'm not weakness policy. This is why SS sucks. Okay, no, I'm not gonna go on that tangent because I could be weakness policy Taunton and be scary versus him. I'm fucking banned. I'm banned. I Plasma Fist because I figure he's gonna react to my Urshifu, and I win. Next game, so I think Scarfini plus Hydreigon is very scary to Spectrier. I also know Virgie dislikes Aromatisse. But I'm figuring he's not going to Spectrier into either my Hydreigon or my Scarfini. Very good versus the non-aromatase mon. So I'm just thinking he's gonna aromatase, and I get it right. Clicking your mon loses the spec is kind of hard. That's why I took a little bit, but I'm like, yeah, I think Metagross is the pick here just because I think he's gonna react to Scarfini or a Hydreigon. Because maybe some Hydreigon beats fucking Aggron. I think Aggron's like a non-factor in this matchup, but whatever. Win that game. Next game. Oh, this is a wrong game, I think. Maybe the wrong game. Okay, this is a game of me viewing my opponent's perspective, so. Basically, if he expects Modest Naganadel, I pretty much fucking lose. I am Band Haxorus. I'm like a not super bulky Lando. I think I'm like Pasha or some fucking nonsense. Or like Lum or just like some bullshit. Not AV, not Scarf, not Band. I called the Draco, and okay, here, let's go. This part was probably me panicking about how I am 3-0 by Naganadel. But then I realized, okay, dude, Scarf Haxorus is very common. AV Lando is very common. Custard Prim is very common. Naga is just not as threatening as it seems to me, as it is to him. And also, part of perspective is seeing like, why do they bring the mons they do? It's more applicable for like Corgis like Golisopod. This is a fantastic fucking Golisopod matchup if it's AV, which I believe it is. I don't think they're anything else. P-Jabs Prim, Water moves me, and can Leech Life Scarf Haxorus and win. David is the type where if he brings a Corgi against a great matchup, he's not thinking too hard about it. Look at this. He goes down to 270, just clicks Golisopod. I calc here. This was me panicking probably, and this is me realizing, okay, looking at from the opponent matchup from my opponent's end, Eska's a non-factor. Naga can pretty much lose to all three mons, and Golisopod is something he brought to get a good matchup, and it has a good matchup, so he's going to click it. Now, I then calc, does Leech Life get me out of Band to a KO range, or does Leech Life plus Sucker to a KO me, or kill me? And the answer is no for both, so I Outrage, do a fuckload because Band Haxorus is a fucking demon. Leech Lifes, and then I kill it. Yeah. He did not expect Band at all, so he's a little tilted by that. So yeah, that's like the power of recognizing what your opponent finds threatening. He found Scarf Haxorus threatening, which I was not, which I used to my own leverage, pretty much. Also, he probably found AV Lando threatening, so yeah, it makes sense. Okay, this is one of my most big boss moments I've ever done. So my team got fucking clapped by a worse team, like 5-1, something like that. So I was so fucking pissed off playing this series. I was insanely pissed. I wasn't sure what to click. I was honestly thinking about Lando because I was like some calm mind bullshit. But then I saw it from my opponent's perspective. I'm like, okay, he's trying to Hypnogar me because I'm the better player. And why would you not click Hypnogar against 3 Solar Mons? I dodge because I'm better, and the Lord is forgiving me and reconciling me for losing to the fucking RPS Rhyperiors 5-1. So I dodge. Get the Flame Charge. Kill it. Next game. I recognize Heracross is super scary for him. I was in range to, or I was maybe a EV spread that could have gotten killed by Lop with this Heracross. That was like some fast shit. But I'm thinking he's clicking Heatran just either hoping it's faster, or he's like a Chople Barrier, Choice Scarf, or some shit that helps him beat Heracross. I don't think he's going to clip Lop because most Heracrosses are really fucking bulky. He's going to just hope his Tran is faster because I'm very decisive. I just decide I'm clicking Gyarados because he's clicking Heatran most times. There will be some people who think, oh, YOLO, let's see if Fake Out Giga Impact kills. There will be some people who are sub-lop and drop my defense so I lose with CC, right? But I didn't think I didn't think he would be sublop. This was not common at all at this time. And I just figured he would be some trans. He's non-balloon trans, so maybe he's Chopper, maybe he's Scarf or some shit like that. I don't really know. I just Waterfall. GG. He's not Scarf Rock Team. It's not sad. I need real life power. Anyways, next game. I do the exact same thing pretty much. Figure he's going to click the Scarf Cure in black into my Lop, which is scary as fuck for Vivillon Heatran. I don't really think that much, as you can see right here. I just click Ferrothorn. I think I calced a little bit to see if Victini was better or something like that, but I was like, yeah, I kind of got to go Ferro here. He's not going Heatran into the scary ass Lop matchup. So I pretty much used the factor of fear of Heracross and Lop to just decisively just get a dub. I did hacks technically because 60% is in his favor, but I don't really give a fuck. So yeah, that was my what my opponent was scared of using against. Also, wait, hold up. This is what you say if your team gets fucking clapped by a terrible team. This is what you say. This is exactly what you say. I'm gonna go for that. We kind of went into perspective. The Golisopod game is a great example of why did he bring this Mon? A lot of Mons that are quirky and get good matches will get clicked. That's just how it is. Yeah, pressure. So my next thing is for picking is process of elimination. I am Scarf Thunderous. With T-Bolt Sludge Wave, I lose to Ice Punch Metagross, I believe. But most people would just brain dead click Scarf Thunderous here because it's the quirky 2-1. But I figure he's not going to click Metagross into these fucking Mons. I get a shit roll here, I believe, unless he's bulky. He subs up because he's trying to go for odds against Zap Cannon. I assume he's like sub CM. So that he doesn't lose a charge. This is a good play versus most Thunders because they run like Z Zap Cannon for maximum power. But he does not anticipate the random Scarf Thunderous. I don't know why I was slot 1, by the way. I was like trolling. But yeah, he did not expect it, so I get the win even though I got a shit roll. GG. I basically process of elimination Metagross out in this fucking matchup because he's scared of Charizard anyways. This is his Zard counter in slot 1. Quirky Zard counter, epic. This game. Wait, I don't know if you can see the text. Can you? No, you can't. Okay, good. Basically. Wait, can you? No, you can't. Okay, I just got texted. It's fucking annoying. Basically, like 99 humans out of or like okay, not 99, but like most people just click Sceptile here. 2 Grass Weeks and a Mon that can die, or get Leech Seed or some shit like that. The counter to Zapdos on his team is Tyranitar, and clicking Tyranitar into Swampert, T-Tar Zapdos, it's a little risky. So I just go into my HP Flying Zapdos and win. I'm Specs HP Flying, so I outcode from full. GG. Next game is like kind of like the same thing. So I figure he is not going Moltres into Tyranitar Raikou. This is a bit of pick scouting. Something I should have just put up here is to just watch a fuckload of games. If you want to get better, watch what people do. Watch how to beat that. Watch players' tendencies. I'll get into that later. But I was watching his games and I realized Eblurb does not really. In friendlies, he makes an insane amount of like, as the meme goes, as the Elabana meme goes, aggressive hard reads. He just clicks mons out of shit matchup, like trying to call you out. He plays really fast. And I just watched some games and I'm like, okay, he doesn't really play like that in Tour anymore. So he's not picking Moltres into Raikou Tyranitar. And then I call him out with my SD. He's not Fire Blast. He like drops timer to like fucking expose me as my all in a group chat. Very mature of you. Get owned, buddy. No GGs obviously, but I played him, so whatever. Next, where's the ADV game? Okay, here. Next point when picking: do not panic when you are 3-0'd. Like in that game where I was pretty much 0 by Specs Naga. View it from your opponent's perspective. So David Nadal is not Scarf Lando for some reason. He just like loses to Charizard or whatever. Zard, You can like epically set read Zard Y and click zone, or epically read X and click Lando, or just rely on them not clicking Zard versus you. David insane panics about Naga because he's not Scarf Lando and goes zone here, which I was in VC. I said I go Serp here every single time because Ela Bandit is basically using the Naga as leverage against David, which is something I would do, to be honest. I insanely agree with this Dawn fan. And David's options to beat Naga are basically mirror code it, but in actuality, Ela Bandit was kind of scared of either mirror code zone or Scarf Lando. And David goes for the mirror code. I didn't like this pick at all. I serped here. Being aggressive game 5 is a great time to be aggressive. That's what Ela Bandit does. Great pick. Also, it's kind of a safe pick here, but you like this is a sequencing thing. Gunk Shot does not beat sub protect or protect sub protect sub protect, so it just doesn't. You just don't win. So I serped here knowing this. Mawwow's probably never coming out, and David just panicked too hard here. Good Dawn fan. I respect that Dawn fan. Let's fuck. Next thing, go for odds. Sometimes in 1v1 you'll be 3-0'd and it'll be an obvious 3-0. So what you got to do is find out what is the best odds to win this. So basically in this game, it was during a 1v1 live tour. I was throwing random fucking sets together. I was Confide Zard. And then I was looking at his replays and I realized, oh shit, this is Laser Focus Meloetta. That beats Confide Zard, that beats Z-Screen's Mew, and it beats Oneware Quagsire. So, I lose. What do I do? What do you think Dom would do? Click the Charizard Y, air slash flinch, drop for no reason. I was talking Blast Burn, but that shit doesn't kill because I wasn't modest. Air slash, Blast Burn it, win! That's how you win a live tour, baby. That's how you win a live tour. He was mad, but he hacks me in like game 2, so suck a dick. Love Dennis, that's my boy. Go for odds. Every time. I would say if it's viewing your opponent's perspective, if they're obviously gonna click it, and it's very obvious that they're gonna click them on that beats you, go for odds. If it's more unclear, I would definitely consider just hoping for a choke. There's some players who are really good at like being collected in like a terrible matchup. So yeah, don't just get salty about matchup. Just try to do your best. Always do your best. Next we got timer. So my view on timer is you should not. The criticized view is like don't click shit in the first like 60 or 30 seconds. I don't know which one it was, one of the 60 or 30, or the last 60 or 30 seconds. Valid. I don't like watching my teammates click at 30 at all. But basically, my view on timer is that you should not regularly or often at all give, like even remotely often, give opponent information about what you're picking when you're doing it. So an example of this is I was watching a Mishliff game. He was dropping to like 60 or series. He was dropping to 60 every single game except the game where it looked like he had a 3-0. And he clicked real fast in that bitch. And that's something you got to realize, okay. Mid-series, even if you're totally confident that your 3-0 wins, you can use a timer to basically keep it consistent. Don't give your opponent information at all. Or like information that is like obvious that wait, you're clicking blah blah blah. So something I will do and something Derek has done is plot out your next team. Ask your team chat some questions about where you're gonna bring next during that game. That's not cheating. Asking your team what team you're gonna load next is not cheating at all. Just don't talk about like. Just don't have weird conversations about like, oh, because this is obviously Fire Emblem Dragonite and fucking. Actually, if you're the player, I don't even think that's illegal. Don't invite your teammates to speculate about sets at all. But basically, don't reveal obvious shit like that. I think when you should reveal what you're doing timer wise is when you're in the process or like in the habit of bluffing people. So that's something I did in my Earth Girl series. In the Earth Girl game, I decisively like where is it? I clicked the Fair Thorn really fast. when Law Pennies. Usually the mon you would click faster into this matchup, right? I figured he would be Scarfion Black. It often is with Train for some reason, and also he has a special attacker for like Venusaur and shit. So yeah, I'm not worried about like Specs or Band or Habon or anything like that. I figure it's Scarf. That's why I clicked it, the Ferrothorn. And I was very decisive, very decisive. Very what was the topic again? Very not wanting to reveal that I was clicking Ferrothorn. Some motherfuckers would drop to 60 and then click the Ferrothorn. I was like, bro, that's kind of obvious, man. Here is something about decoy information or misleading info. Basically, okay, this game, I threw this team together in like 2 minutes. I am 3-0'd by damn near every one of his mons. The only mon that doesn't win is if it's Aggron versus Art-Y. I'm not disabled Gengar, I'm Specs. So I get Shy Shocked, I think it's Side Shocked or T-Bolted or Energy Bowler, I don't really remember. And Charizard gets Hyper Beam because I'm not sub. So, bro, why is the music on? Oh my god. So I go Zard here because it's Air Slash Flinch on these two, and him. It's Specs. This is my team. I know what team it is. It's Specs Rock Slide. So you basically have to read if they're megaing X turn 1 or not, or if they're Y and you can Rock Slide. So I give him some dummy information. There's nothing for me to think about. I'm not Flame Charge. I'm not X clicking Dragon Dance, and I have no way to beat sub if you randomly change to be sub. If I Air Slash, I land on fucking bad. So I only click Blast Burn, and I'm giving him decoy info that I'm not thinking about clicking Blast Burn. Meanwhile, I am saying, okay, what fucking team do I load next that is not complete dog shit through by every single mon he brings? That's what I'm thinking about. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna click a 210, and then he Earth Powers my ass, and I Blast Burn. I've often failed to do shit like this, but this game made me fucking giggle. And also, there is the fact that I had Special Attacker, Special Attacker, Special Attacker, which you didn't expect. So, yeah. What time am I at right now? 40 fucking 2, oh my god. Jesus, I'm taking way too long. But it's okay. I don't really care. Yeah, I gave him misleading info that I was thinking about something I was all thinking about. Well, I was thinking about what team I was going to bring next, but that doesn't really matter for that specific sequence. So, next, switch up what you do. So, don't always, like, do not do what I do in, like, every single game. It's like, oh, if I'm going to make a call, a hard, decisive call, I'm going to do it in the first 30 seconds. Sometimes you can't click obvious shit in the first 30 seconds to counteract what you're doing. Don't have perceivable habits in your timer, right? Make it so that they don't know what the fuck you're doing based off your timer. Don't give information that gives you anything. So here's a good example. Switch up what you do, right? This is for Masters, I believe. Zera's the obvious pick here. Easy win. Easy win. Easy win on Finny, easy win on Naga. But what I do is I pretty much, yeah, I don't even, my timer does not drop whatsoever. I insta-click Fini because I'm figuring that I don't think he wants to go Naga into a obvious Banzeri, like easy dub, right? Or Life Orb or whatever, right? So I make the call right now decisively. I'm going Fini to Why? Ice Beam it. GG. And then a few tours later, in Champs, same shit. I have a Banzera 2-1 beats Thund because Thund can't. If you've built like SM or maybe SS, I don't know. You know that Thundurus cannot Oko Zera without like some fucking Z. Actually, no, Z have a beam. It's probably the only way. You can go Scarf HP ground, but that's not a thing in SS. So, I'm realizing this is the same shit as last time, and I think Rosa is a aware enough person to not lose to the same fucking trick twice in a row with the Banzera. Good matchup. I see Banzera is the only Banzera or the only Zera I fucking use. So if she did scouting, she knows that I'm banned. But what I do differently is look at her timer drop as she's thinking. I also figured Thunder's T is kind of the same. It's kind of a mon that Rosa would just click. These guys are kind of threatened by like Flame, Fire Move Steela. So I'm figuring Thund is like a Rosa click here. Figuring that I will do the same thing twice based on my timer use, and I'm not going to switch it up, but I do switch it up and click the Banzera here, figuring she goes Thund, and get the win. So I switch it up. Don't have like timer habits. Don't have habits. A lot of players will not call you out for timer habits, but some of them will, and it will be bad when they do. Next we have mid series, so do not troll up 2-0. Don't bring mons that are bad. Don't bring just don't do stupid picks, and don't bring like terrible teams up 2-0, because you're basically giving your opponent a free invitation to be back in the series. If you're gonna stunt when it matters, or don't stunt. Don't do the like, oh, I'm gonna give my opponent a wave to win the series type stunt, because that's a weak ass stunt, very weak stunt. If you're gonna be a stunt, or just don't do it up 2-0. You have a way higher chance of losing the series than you think based on doing that, pretty much. One sec. Let me drink some water. Okay. People play comfy when they're up 2-0. I find it very easy. Like I've countless times been down 0-2 and brought it to game 5, based off the fact that my opponent is a little more predictable when they're about to win. Most people don't make weird reads or like hard reads when they're up, because then they're just gonna get mad at themselves if that doesn't work out. Also, adjust your team. Do not be okay. When I talk about this, I'm always gonna think of the Elo Bandit versus Toll, where he lost to Cartana 3 times in a row, or maybe not in a row, but 3 times in one series, right? You gotta be better at recognizing, okay, he's bringing Monodon, because Card had great matchup a lot of those games. It's not like, oh, it had terrible matchup, but Elo Bandit just lost to it. Like, it was clear the dude didn't prep super hard for Cartana, therefore, you should. If you lose to a Cartana, maybe the dude recycles the team, maybe he thinks it's a good mon in prep versus you, anything like that. So, you should be like aware of what they're bringing. Well, they're bringing. Don't be an Elo Bandit who just preps the team and just loads it without thinking like a lick about it. That was just really disappointing to see from like a veteran 1v1 player. So yeah, do not let mons get good matches versus you over and over. Or if they're bringing shit you didn't expect and you're more like prepping for different stuff, then load some different teams. It's okay. You do not have to load the teams you prepped. Like a lot of teams, I'll prep for someone, don't load it, and I use it later, and it's good. You know, you don't have to like 100% stick to what you built just because you built it and that's your prep. You know. Next, we already talked about sequencing. Game from earlier, basically plotting your sequencing at preview and like knowing the matchup at preview to make educated decisions is way better than just YOLOing it. YOLOing it is okay if you're at low timer. If you don't have time, don't go to 20 ever. I don't think you should ever click below 30. So I think a big thing is like, what is my opponent gonna click turn 1? If they're gonna like, don't like, if a motherfucker tries to taunt you, don't just get taunted. Attack him. Get that 20%. Get that 30%. Get that 35%. Attack that. Punish them for making the obvious play. Punish them for making the obvious play. You gotta think like, how does a person? It's kind of like the opponent specific thing. How does a human, like a person that's not thinking too far ahead about this matchup, how do they perceive it? Because not every person you play is gonna be like steps ahead of you or anything like that. Like they might be behind you. So how do people think? So here's a horrible sequence game by me. Like this is like the worst shit I've done. Not the worst game I've sequenced, but a game I sequenced horribly. So I am Lepa Berry, Sludge Bomb, and I can maybe. Actually, no, I don't think I have it anymore, but it's Elite Seed, Protect, Sub, Sludge Bomb, Lepa Berry. For a Raikou, for other pressure shit, for just attacking strong Lepa Berry and not getting PP stalled. So, if I had the Raikou, I go Vini. Right? So, Vinu likes to click lead sheet, it likes to click frenzy plant. So I click sludge turn 1 knowing that sub covers both of those options. I sludge. Good sludge for me. Now I fuck up. Because in his mind, subbing against me didn't work. Right? I don't die to sub Pataya HPX. I don't. So there's no reason for him to just sub into 1% HPX me and not kill. That's not a play most people do. So I should be aggressive. I should be decisive. I should use this as a chance to lead sheet and get myself in the game. Because I wasn't really doing a ton of calcs. I thought HPX would do a lot less. This is like I was just not thinking at all this game. This is doing a little too much. I should leech, and then I have the power of sub, and I have the power of protect to put myself in a great position versus this Raikou. But no, I sludge, and does not do a lot. I don't get the poison, but I don't deserve the poison from that play. I should have leech cheated, got my health back, threatened to protect, threatened a lot of things, because there's no reason for him to substitute if it just didn't work. If I'm adamant, there's no indication that I'm gonna do anything besides sludge bomb. So that's what he plays around, because I do sludge bomb, because I make a fucking bot ass play that sucks balls, and I should not have done this. I was mad at myself as fuck for this. Raikou's broken, blah 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 blah. It had the ability to force me to sludge, but this is a fucking horrible sludge bomb. It was so bad. Leech Sheet's a broken move, so I would have been in much better winning position. Now all he has to do is sub into Pataya, and his HPS will kill me. For some reason, he just HPS's and risks a poison. Swordless board, you fucking suck, buddy. No, I'm just fucking around. But that was a horrible play. That was a terrible play. This shit was he lets me get a poison. I do not, and I lose the game. He reveals Pataya, and I have no fucking idea. And he thought somehow cussed up. It is cussed up. Yeah, but he cussed up an ADV, man. It's just like quarters or semis or some shit. I don't know how he didn't know that. Terrible sequence play, because I just play like a bot instead of being proactive and knowing what play will get me further and pulling the trigger. I don't pull the trigger and I lose. Which is my bad. Calc. I don't know if the game is in here. Here, let me find it real quick. I have an insanely basic game to show of, was this game? Okay, this is like the most basic sequencing you can do, like ever. I have, let's just import some random set. Let's import this. Oh, I don't have the set here. Let's import, yeah, this set. I don't know if people even know. Maybe there's one person in this video that doesn't know that you can just do this. Import. And my wow. Bam. Right here. So, let's take a look at the game I was talking about. Is ADV or DPP. Okay, this is like the most basic sequencing of all time. No, wrong game. It is game 5. The most basic sequencing of all time. So, I figure he's not going to click Rachi because Random Heat is a threat. He clicks Kingdra. I believe, yeah, he does. He spec surfs me, I believe. I click T-Wave. I don't see the reason to Iron Head right now. So I figured the Judge does 43. Maybe I shouldn't click Zen again, right? It does 43. So he's probably no bulk. Or very little, right? Yeah, there's like, he basically has to be 0. HP, defense, shit like that. So he's at 57%. This plus 18.5 is 55.9. He's at 57. These are 2 insane minerals. So I should go for Iron Head. Does 19. There you go. I'm pretty much clear based off this. it is for sure better odds than to just Zen and risk this twice. If I risked that twice, then it was a little more sus. But I basically realized, okay, I need 2 minerals in a row and no paraflinch to lose this. That's a better play than just Zenning twice and risking miss and risking Zen's lower flinch chance. So that was like basic ass sequencing. I might have been more attack based off the rolls. Maybe not though, because it did 19, so I don't know. But yeah, insanely basic sequencing. Here's an example of pulling triggers more early being good. Actually, I have to pull a trigger turn 1, so this is like kind of irrelevant. But basically, think about what your opponent is gonna click more often than not. If he ice shards and I mega, he looks like a fucking idiot, right? He looks like an actual dumbass. Like he looks like such a fool. So he's gonna try to gunk, punishing my mega, right? Ice the regular, and cotton guard. Survive, and then I get crit, right? Do I get crit? Yep, I got crit. That happens sometimes, you know, it'd be like that. So this is an example of me plotting. I figured right around here that I would mega if I fought the Dawn Fan, I believe. Because you don't want to drop your timer here and make it like an ambiguous 50-50. If you're just decisive and you know what you want to do before it happens, you're more of a winner, you know. And here's a sequencing game that. Okay, so Altaria has 354 HP max. So I'm not sure if my Mew, which is my only Altaria check, beats it. So what do? 3, 5, 4 plus 3, 5, 4 divided by 2, which is Roost, times 16. It does. This is how much HP he has. Now, I will do 100 times 32. And it is more. So, what I have learned is I can seismic toss him to death. Because seismic toss does more damage than he has with his normal health plus Roost. So, I win. And for some reason, I don't know if he realized or just got impatient. I just keep seismic tossing because there's not to I win. I figure he's not DD Facade, which would beat my set, I believe, because they don't really run that in this tier. So, yeah, I do my math right. Yeah, I do a lot of math. Yeah, I was just double checking there, some shit like that. But I knew my S-Toss would win, and then he randomly like hyper brings me for no reason and lets me kill him. So, GG. Last, I got pattern recognition. So I think pattern recognition is what separates like good players from the like really like elite like team carry like will drag my team to playoff type players. Like, okay, I don't know if I want to call anyone out, but I will. Okay, I don't think a motherfucker like Earthgurgle is like an elite pattern recognizer in terms of like what people use, how they play, right? That's just a player who's good, but not like I don't think Earthgurgle would beat me, Crucify Zio, for example. Because all three of us react to our opponents. We know patterns. We watch a lot of games. Those three dudes can build, can play, and watch a lot and just know how to fucking basically be a little bit above everyone else, you know. That's why they can drag a team to playoffs by their fucking self. I don't know why I refer to myself in the third person. I kind of just like shorting myself in there because I've seen Grace Finds Out go crazy. Those guys aren't super active though, so it's in your guys' hands. It's hard to explain. Basically, if you watch a lot of games and kind of like observe how people play and how people just like fucking tend to the meta, it just gets easier to take it apart and dissect the meta. That's why you'll see me fucking in that Earthgurgle series just kind of destroy him. He had a Hypno Guard through, but Hypno Guard through at every team at that point, so yeah, good job, buddy. This came across so anti-Earthgirl. He's a cool dude, but yeah, that's just something that like once you kind of understand how people play, don't overgeneralize players, right? Don't overcategorize them. This person only picks safe, or this person only picks aggressive. No, that's not how people play. they're humans. They make different choices. Teams don't really think so. What they do seems different, but once you watch enough games, some people will play safe. That's just how it is. That Eidler game, I decisively scissored because I figured he would. He wasn't really playing out aggressive at that time. So watch the meta, watch players, observe, take notes, say things, right? So, oh, wow, this team looks weak to, like, these teams, every team in the series has looked weak to blank. Oh, wow, this person really picked safe. If you're thinking about that, it's way easier to, like, get into a series and just take a person apart. So, yeah, this is about, like, how do I fucking, like, use tools that, like, exist in theoretics, but not, like, an actual meta tool, like the HP Electric Ninja, for example. No one using shit like that. Like, that's, like, maybe something GGOPW would have ran, like, ages ago. But that's a player that people don't play like him, so I use that HP Electric Gong Shot Grand to just notice this gets good matches versus people. And it does what Greninja should do right now. Greninja's role right now is not outcoing Zarya with Hydro Cannon because of Starred Y, so therefore I should be trying to attack its teammates, you know, in addition to like scaring out Slowbro regardless. That set doesn't really beat Slowbro, but Greninja's role isn't just, oh, I'm going to be a standard 252 timid Hydro Cannon, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse. I'm going to run the 2015 set. No, Greninja's role is like a swaggy, saucy, finesse mon. That's what it is, and that's how I used it to get good matches for people. So, now I got what you all were waiting for. VOD analysis versus the people you motherfuckers can't beat. So, let's get into it. I threw about these players, but I hacked the game. You're about to see it right now. I love this team. I get great matchup. Train is good into everything that is not... Or what does Train even lose to? Oh, Red Drago, right. Train is good. I might be... I think I am cussed up, yeah, on this team, yeah. Beats Zapdos, maybe. Beats Metagross. Spectre has insane matchup. Actually, I'm Spec, so I don't even know if I beat Zapdos. I should, because cuss up Zapdos is not something Smicehouse would run. But... I figure, okay, I don't think Smicehouse is going to click Regigiego into my Prim, my Train, my Spec, which is wrong. Part of me wanted to, actually, the way I picked in this game was that I thought about what I wanted to pick, or like versus Smicehouse in general, like every single time I play Smicehouse, is, I think about what I want to click in the first 10 seconds, and then I just drop timer, think about what I want to do next, and kind of just troll. I'm really trolling as fuck here. Like, I was not thinking about shit right now. I click Spec, and this is what Smicehouse wanted, so I crit it, because I'm lucky and shit. Unfortunate for her, but unfortunate. But I'm thinking, okay, Smicehouse is just gonna pick defensively versus me, and pick into a threat like Spectre. This was her best bet versus Spectre as fuck. She thought I wasn't saucy enough to prim here. I should have primmed here, but I didn't because I'm bad. So, I'm like, okay. Smicehouse reacts defensively to threats. I think defensively is a myth. Like, the term defensively is like, people use it in so many different ways to talk about, like, oh, picking their biggest threat, or like, oh, picking into this threat. All defensively means is you're picking into a certain threat, which is how everyone fucking plays the game. But I'm thinking, okay, Smicehouse is going to play reactionary, defensively, whatever term you want to use, into my biggest threat. So, I made that mid-series adjustment right here. Oh no, this is the next game. Wrong one. So, what do? I bring a threat. I bring a motherfucking threat. Smicehouse isn't really the type of player to definitively, like, set guess. This Nidoking has to be Scarf, or Specs, or Life Orb Protect because of this. No. That's like a Mitchell thing to do, is like try to fucking guess what a fucking fake mon would do. Dude, Mischief catches so many strays in my videos, but he's just like a good example because I know him so well, like playstyle wise. I am Scarf here. Scarf Volcanion, great matchup into Volcanion, and then tells Alola. But Smicehouse is afraid of Zera, afraid of Nidoking. So I decided I'm gonna Feeny here, which has fucking bad matchup, by the way. The shit loses. I like super lost to these Um, and she sends out Banzai because she's afraid of me with the 2 swag mons, the 2 offensive mons. Because that's how she plays. And then I win, even though I don't have Surf. Cool for me. In this game, I bring Ice Punch or Shifu and Dazzling Gleam, Coco, and Violent Jump. Why? Because I know Garchomp is, at this point in time, Smiley-Stock's comfort SS mon. I've seen her post a lot of sets. I've seen her just spam it. And I know if you haven't used it and you're going down 0-2 in a loser's bracket, we played like pretty shortly after the deadline. I built all my teams like in 30 minutes in a hotel room, like the day the fucking round dropped. So I'm like, okay. She's just going to default back to what's worked for her. And in this game, I believe with my Coco set, I like lose to some Azu. So I'm thinking, okay. I think Smiley-Stock is going to play afraid of Coco. I've run Gleam before. I've run offensive Cocos. Plus, Chomp doesn't really make any sense to pick here. I lose to Ozzy most likely, so I'm gonna have to play into Crest Chomp. And I get the Ice Beam, non-Moonblast, because I mean there's a fucking Shifu check right there. Just didn't click it with my Ice Punch. Oh, I didn't click Ice Punch. I didn't click Wicked Blow. Duh. With my Wicked Blow, Bando Shifu, and that is game. Definitely lucky game 1, but I mean it happens sometimes. If you're faster, you can crit. That'll be. Next, this is a really old series. We're close. I did a lot of like pick scouting versus him to come to the conclusion that he likes to pick into people's biggest threat, or like the most common click basically. So game 1, this is a very obvious Urshifu, very standard Urshifu, but he's just looking at this Dracozolt and going, damn, I'm at a feast on this team. Unfortunately, I click Sucker Punch, and this is like epic sequencing from me. Basically, he has to hit more Hustle Bolt Peaks if he goes last rather than first, so Sucker is a better play. They do not run sub Dracozolt. That's not a set. So, look at that win. This game, I figure he is scared of Zygarde and is going to pick an Spectre. What does he do? Exactly that. I am pretty decisive about this, which usually most people would be Zygarde clicked, but I'm like, if he clicks Spectre versus my team, GG. Well played, buddy. He's not. I win. He thought I was Kebia, but I was like some Ocker Babiri or some shit like that. Probably Babiri. Because I have a Zygarde for fires, so. Then this game, this is really old. Look at this shit, by like 2 years old. This game, I lose to Garchomp. I don't know what my sets were, but I lose to it. I always like some like trash. But I do have weakness policy, Jirachi, and I have a mission. So I click that. Feeny is honestly a valid click here. I think I was AV Zygarde. That's why. Yeah, I think I was AV Zygarde. And ID, knowing that that is like the only fucking way I win this game. Unless I get like insane Hurricane Confusion on Garchomp. This was supposed to be the counter at the time, but he made it slower for like no reason, and then I win. Also, I'm calcing here to see if fucking what's it? See if Store Power 2 KOs. It does. I think it might have been a roll, I believe, but I get it, so GG's. Yeah. That is how you beat the people that farms everyone. Basically, just call people out for being defensive, be aggressive, be decisive, be attacking the meta. That's really all my advice has boiled down to. Be good with your timer. Don't fucking what's it called? Don't give an info. Don't have a weak mindset. Have a strong mindset. And if you're like, if you're like in these games I've linked, my mindset has been really strong. of me winning. Usually when I lose, it's when I'm like fucking being a little bitch, and like there's not a lot of series where I'm going out swinging, like making these swag reads, and like just going up balls. Usually when I lose, it's because I play too safe. Don't play too safe. Don't not play too safe. So yeah, that's really all I had to do. This video obviously longer than I expected, but I don't really care. So peace out. So an important part of 1v1 is not getting too in your own head. That's kind of obvious to me. But you're gonna try to want to like find the middle of underthinking and overthinking, because both of those are terrible, and you want to avoid this as much as possible. So don't get in your own head up too much about, oh my god, fucking what if this guy does this thing that would beat me? Yeah, the thing you might be clicking as a way to lose, but that's just how it be. Especially when you're building too. Don't be like, oh my god, what if this guy clicks this thing that no one ever, like what if this guy like, I'm trying to think of an example against like maybe against a Heatran, like, oh my god, dude, what if the Spectre taunts my Heatran? It's like, what? That's just a random example I had, but yeah, try to find, it's kind of like a process of a process of error thing. It's like sometimes you overthink, sometimes you underthink. Try to like build habits of where you're not doing either, pretty much.